information or opinions expressed by the host, co-host, and or guests on this podcast do not necessarily represent or reflect the views of our company, our sponsors, and advertisers. Please consult your attorneys, CPA, or business owners, advisors before making any business decision. Thank you. Welcome everybody, Small Business Stand Up, and I'm your host. I got a couple of great co-hosts here. Introduce yourself, guys.
Oh, I'm Sheila Little from Michigan.
I'm Marquin D Alberty.
Shape and Solutions. I'm sorry.
All right. Hey, Marquin, say it again.
I'm Marquin Alberty out of Dallas, Texas.
Oh, excellent. Well, welcome, guys. Appreciate you guys getting on. We have a couple more people that's going to be coming on a little late today, but we're going to get started. All right, so I'll tell you what, man, let's jump right into this thing. Well, first of all, how you guys are doing today? That's the question. How you guys doing?
It's a blessing to be alive.
Man. Yeah.
Man. I tell you,
really well.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, that's what I say all the time. Because, you know, a lot of times, man, when you run across a person, man, you know, they may have a lot of, you might ask them how you doing today. They may unload everything on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you tell a person, man, you know, somebody says something to you, how you doing? You be like, man, it's a blessing to be alive. You really got to think about that. I really have nothing to complain about. If you talk about me living, I'm good. I got another day to fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of look at it.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Miss Nida?
Hey, how are you? Hi, guys.
Hello.
Appreciate you guys jumping on here. So, all right. So you know how I do, man. I kind of throw a curveball in the thing, to kind of get you guys off kilter a little bit. So let's do it today too, man. So, all right. Here's the question. All right, it pops up. Y'all see that?
Yep.
Okay. Did I say that right? Yeah. Elevator pitch. What's your elevator pitch? I know it's gonna put you guys on the spot, right? And it put me on the spot too. So I gotta kind of remember because I haven't used it in a while. But as you guys know, you have to be prepared when you run up or you bump up against opportunity, right? So let's say you get a chance, you get in the elevator and Bill Gates or whoever popped in there with you. What you gonna do? You got 30 seconds to get your point across, to tell him what you do. How are you gonna sell that man? What are you gonna say?
Well, it's hard for me because I don't know what to sell first, but I'm just whack. So my elevator pitch, I'm just straight to the point. I'm like, hey, you know anybody selling houses?
You know, he got a lot of them.
I'm just straight to the point. Do you have any houses for sale by owner in your neighborhood? This is for my wholesaling pitch. So, because I always tell my kids, I don't even have time to waste. I just go straight to the point.
Go straight in.
I just go straight in.
That's a good one. What about you guys? What we saying to Bill Gates, man?
I actually have the elevator's pitch. I was like looking it up to see if I remember what it was. But hold on a second. I can't see you guys anymore. Oh, there.
See you and hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
So my elevator pitch, you know, I work with people who self-sabotage, and so my elevator pitch is, I know how hard it is when life and business aren't moving forward the way you want, because many of us as entrepreneurial women, we tend to be on a hamster wheel. We self-sabotage and we procrastinate. The problem is that we know what we want to do, we just don't know how. So what I do is help you stop it now. Get off that hamster wheel and start living the life you deserve.
Wow. Quick question before you answer, Marquin. How many people that you talk to, that you mentor to, has that already ready to go when you meet them?
Oh. Me? For me,
yes.
None.
Yeah. Would you say that shows a little bit about that person, especially if they've been in the business for a long time, or will you say that's kind of the norm? And that's for everybody before you get started, my queen. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I think it tells you about where this person is in their journey of entrepreneurship. Okay. And I think you can have an entrepreneur that's been doing it for 20 years, but the seriousness of it and the commitment of it, I think it kind of speaks to, where they're at. Because you only know what you know until you know something different, but when you start to really try to impact your business, I think that's when you start seeking help. You realize you don't know everything and you start to seek help from other people. And then we get introduced to new concepts.
Yeah, great answer. Go ahead, Marquin. You have one?
What would be my elevator pitch to Bill Gates?
Yeah.
Just let him know, like, bro, I got a big problem. I know you love big problems. Can you help me with my big problem? Then I'm going to just get him motivated just to help me with my big problem. I'm going to be like, it's to eliminate poverty. It's to eliminate poverty. And that'll be my problem. That'll be my pitch. I pitch to him just a big problem, and I need help with a solution. And I know he's trying to figure out how to attack poverty. So I'm doing the same thing as well.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think my problem has been because I have a one, but sometimes it's in and out of my head. Just being honest with you, so I'm gonna take a shot at it though, right? But my problem is that I do so much that I don't have I can't really encapsulate, I guess you could say, all of what I do in 30 seconds, man. And that could be a problem. That could be a problem because you run across a person who's very busy. He don't have time. That 30 seconds may be all that you get. So what's more important in that situation? Is it your carpet cleaning business? Is it your real estate team that you got going or a company that you got going? Is this? You just got to pick which one, the biggest deal, the thing you're trying to do, and you pitch that.
I kind of assess the person too. Like if I'm in the elevator, I kind of look at them, depending on how they dress, how they look. I listen very closely. I'm just nosy too. And kind of hear, maybe they might be on the phone or talking to someone and kind of hear the conversation. And then that'll give me a hint on what I need to pitch, what business I have, what I might need to pitch or what I can help them with. So I just kind of observe a lot first before I even say anything.
Tell me about a time an elevator pitch have worked for you guys.
Wow.
What works for me a lot is, honestly, I'm always in the elevator. I take my mom to the doctor all the time. So I'm always in the elevator with nurses. I'm selling medical scrubs. So when they're in the elevator, I give them my card. I tell them what I'm doing. I tell them, especially recently that the website is launching June 1st, my online store. And I always tell them, my tagline is scrubs do not have to be boring. So I have on my phone the different scrubs that I'm selling, so I'll show it to them. So that's one pitch. And then another one for me is credit repair. So depending on where I'm going, someone's in the elevator or just outside, standing outside whatsoever, I pitch credit repair all day long to people, no matter who it is. I'm sure they're probably tired of me talking about it, but I'm always pitching it just from listening and seeing what's going on, what's going on with that person. I can pretty much tell if they might need some help with trying to get their credit together.
Right, I look at the game
all the time.
Yeah, I look at the game like a professional pitcher. You got to have a softball, you got to have a fastball, you got to have a curveball, and you just got to know how to hit your targets every time you're just throwing it.
It's true.
So,
it's true.
I be trying to make sure whoever at the base hit a home run. So it's made for them to run up their charts at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's not an easy thing. Like even for me, man. Like I say, I'm trying to put it together in my brain while we're speaking. So I wanted to put you guys on the spot at the same time, put me on the spot. I didn't want to have enough time to think about it, so I was constantly kind of doing stuff all throughout the day. So kind of what I tell people. My name is Jay Wicker. I'm gonna mess it up again here. I'm Jay Wicker. I'm a local wholesaler looking to find more properties quickly. Close quickly. Man, I'm messing this thing up, man. Hold on, man. Let me get it together. Hold on. I'm better on the phone. I'm Ice Cole on the phone. So let's do this. My name is Jay Wicker. I lead up acquisition for my buying partners. We can close deals very quickly. Send us over the deals that you have. Let's see what we can do with it. It's something really simple. Something really simple. So, but it's not easy. But I would say practice on that. And I'm gonna take my own advice on it too. So I'm gonna write it down today. Next week, I'm gonna ask you guys the same question. Let's see if we can get together, guys. All right.
Well, I think that's why I came up with the framework, right? Just the whole framework of Stop It Now, because, well, what do you get people to stop doing? Whatever it is that's stopping them from manifesting the life that they deserve, right? Like, and I think that dwindling down that for me was easy. But you're right. When you have a lot of different hats that you wear, it can be very challenging to say, well, what it is that you do. I mean, my friends called me Tommy for a long time. Like, Tommy, like, what do you do? Like, you just.
I'm still called that.
It's like, well, I mean, depends on, what you need, And so I agree with you, Nida, that, you really do have to know your audience or who you're talking to and what their need is, so you can speak directly to their problem.
Yeah,
and you gotta know where they're at in solving their problem, though, too.
Yeah,
that's true. I kind of pride myself on adapting what their whatever their needs are, and I adapt my presentation accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty, because I do a little bit of everything, as far as syndication, wholesaling, commercial, residential. I do, like I said, notary online and mobile notary as well. We do a little consulting, real estate consulting as well. I do a little bit of everything. And then if I don't do it, I know people who do whatever you need to get done. So it's like, man, what's the issue? Okay, that's your issue. Here's the person you need to talk to. That's kind of, I'm that hub, so to speak. So I know I put y'all on the spot and probably me more than anybody. But hey, that's what entrepreneurship is about, man, because it can happen to anybody. We all one person away from being probably truly successful. When if we could talk about money or whatever the case is. So, and anytime we could bump into somebody, if we're not prepared, we'll spend a lifetime regretting that we wasn't prepared. So all right. Any questions out there?
Yeah, do you feel like you should have balance? So balance going after the big whales and balance going after the small fishes.
You say, should we have boundaries?
So like with your product, if you're selling a high ticket product, you should have a little balance. You can sell one high ticket product and one low ticket product, but you should have balance. So I'm asking, like, should you focus on doing that pitch to the whales, or should you focus on doing the pitch to the bottom end?
Wow, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is. That's a good question.
I'll let you know once I find the balance.
Well, wow, man. Because in business, especially when you first starting out, right? You want to try not to leave no one out. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure you be able to kind of gather as much you possibly can. But one thing I've learned is, learn about business is that the people who sell Lamborghinis, they never on discount.
Right.
They never on discount. So you got to set your price and bring enough content. Bring enough information or things that they need, man, so that people will say, in order for me to get to this place, I need to pay this amount of money, rather than, can I get a discount? Unfortunately, we deal with a lot of people, where I come from, is that they're going to ask for a discount a lot of times. And at that time, if you want to do a little charity, that's cool too, but I try to, right now, where I'm at right now, I have to get paid for my time.
So I actually ran into this, Marquin, where, I have this product. I charge a certain amount based on my expertise and based on my, profession. But the customer that I wanted to impact couldn't afford it. Like, they just couldn't afford the services. So how do I, still be able to provide them with the service that I want to deliver them? Because I think it's helpful to my primary population is health and human services. So therapists, nurses, things like that. And a part of them is in what we call this Alice population. Anyway, I created a nonprofit. And so instead of them having to pay for it, Marquin, I go ask other people, who got the money to pay for, this individual, to be able to get this service. And then that took me work, because now how can I convince Marquin to pay for, Tiffany's services, right? So now I got to figure out what your need is and why you will be willing to donate to my nonprofit so that Tiffany can get, this training in emotional intelligence, and how is this going to benefit Tiffany as a nurse, if she gets this training, what better impact is it going to have in the work that she does, in the life that she lives. So I actually opened up a nonprofit so that I can be able to have that spectrum of services and be able to sell to these lower people. To these, be able to garnish the people who cannot afford my services, but not have to take my price down.
That's a jewel.
What about you, Marquin? How do you handle that?
Just same, just finding creative ways, just like a nonprofit, just finding creative ways just to serve both clients.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got a big client who need a lot of customers, I just feed them all the customers, and they'll just feed me all the capital, and I just know what to do with it, basically.
I think that we don't understand the gem of a nonprofit, and really the customer is not the people that you're servicing. The customer a lot of times is your donors, right? And what impact they want to make in the world, and you're just being used as a channel for that. And so a lot of times it's like, it's a lot of work, talking to donors, but it works, and then everybody wins.
Man,
I created like donation-based products. So like, if I was charging for something, I want somebody to donate to me instead of finding like a different price point. I just left it. I left it like into the customer hand, basically. Whatever you think it's worth, just give me a donation, and we can start working. After doing that a lot, you'll have a lot of people giving you great donations, where you really never have to work again.
Yeah. But I think your question is definitely a question that most entrepreneurs have, because, one, they're always being pressured to give a discount on their product, or am I charging too much? And, so many questions that go through your mind when you go to price, your product, and so really understanding who your customer is and what their need is going to be key. And what is their financial bracket? Like if if you're selling a product that your customer needs, but they can't afford it, how do you still get that into their hands? Do you use the company they work for? So, Miss, what is it again?
Say it again.
I think your success depends based off how you serve the market in that aspect.
Yeah, Miss Nida, like she sells the scrubs. Her customer may be the nurse itself, but then she could go right directly to the hospitals and say, hey, you know what? I have scrubs. Your customer needs them. How can we work together, to be able to make sure that your nurses are staying clean, especially after a pandemic and having to go home, and how many they need. And now her customer is not so much directly the nurse, it's the organization that's paying for the nurse, right? And so, but her that's her end customer, but sometimes our end customer is not the person that's actually paying for our product.
Yep. Working on contracts now to try to get some hospitals. Perfect. Yes, definitely.
So I tell my clients to focus on that end, focus on the contracts, focus on serving better clients,
Man,
Sometimes you want to serve the everyday client, but it's the bigger client that's serving people every day that you want to service.
Man, that's pretty deep though, man. Like you say, you run across a person who wants your service, but for some reason cannot afford your service. Try to find somebody who is willing to help, maybe donate funds or pay for them. That's pretty huge, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty huge. Because when you first start out in business, man, a lot of times you really can't afford a discount, even though you do it and probably get your name out there or whatever the case is, man. But you can run yourself in the ground by doing that. You know, especially if you don't see no money coming back, and you
Yeah.
can put all this money in your business. Now you kind of giving it for free. I did that for some years. I did it for some
Yeah,
years.
we actually take scholarships. Like you come to the website, it's getting revamped now, but you actually can assign up for a scholarship. And what we do is just look at those scholarships and we go to other people and say, hey, you know, this person wants to come through our program. This is going to be their benefit. Can you pay for it for them? You know, we're a nonprofit. You can write this off. This person gets what they want. And then partnering with people too, right? As a nonprofit with for-profits to be able to get donors in to be able to support those initiatives. So
it's too much money. It's too much money left. It's too much money left in that market for us not setting up and taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Well, I just think just don't stop at the customer, right? Just don't think because that customer don't have the money don't mean that, you know, your product ain't gonna sell for the price that it needs to pay for. It just takes us a while to think about it creatively.
Yeah, because I guess I did think about it a little bit, but I really didn't apply it. So with the stuff you guys just kind of broke that down to me, that make a lot of sense. So what it does is open up a section of my brain to start thinking like that now. You know what I'm saying? So that's y'all put something on my brain with that one, man. so a lot of the free stuff I gave, if I could have got 10% of that back, I'd be winning. You know what I'm saying? Because I invested a lot of time, gave up a lot of free game for many, many years. And a lot of time when I was giving out that game, they really didn't appreciate it. You know? So it's like I put my effort, time, and energy into it and really got nothing back from it. You know what I'm saying? But when a person have to put some skin in the game, or they got to go do some work in order to be able to come up with the funds or whatever, they tend to respect it more and take it and do something with it. So, yeah. Man, that was deep, man. That was pretty deep, I think. All right. Any questions out there? I know we talked about the elevator pitch and some other things as well. Anything we want to tie to that? Or we kind of got that all the orange out that orange juice out of the orange. All right, so here's the deep one here, guys. I think, man. So let me give you guys this game here. All right, let's see. Can you guys see that? So according to the 2021 census, Black people will have the buying power of $1.4 trillion. Thoughts, guys?
That's a lot of buying power.
Yes, sir.
Power to our people. No excuses.
That's more than some countries.
I think it's true. I just think we don't utilize it. We're not gonna take advantage of it. But it's possible for sure.
Yeah.
I do think it's a collective, right? It's kind of like the coming together and using that buying power. You know, a fist is more than a finger, you know, and I feel like we have that buying power already. It's just collectively, do we know how to come together and use it, you know, for the good of everybody involved.
Wow. Man, that's not $1 million. That's not $1 billion. We said $1 trillion.
Trillion.
That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. So think about it. Where's that money going at now? Where's the money going now? That means it's going from our hands into somebody else's hands.
Yep.
That's enough money to get everybody that we know who wants to be out of a bad situation out of that situation. We have money. I mean, if we can see our people, unfortunately, man, stand out there and wait on the Michael Jordan shoes to drop. The same pair dropped 6 times in my lifetime, and we out there sleeping at night and putting that money after we worked hard. We can do that for starting up a business, building our own banks or whatever the case is. You know, putting together funds. We just need. I don't know the answers to it, man, but we have the answers to the equation. But we're just not applying it, or maybe we don't know what to do or what the situation is, but we have the buying power to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that I get very philosophical. Like I just go back to, I do think it will happen. Again, I think conversations like this help for the enlightenment to happen, but it's still going to be a very few, 80%, 20% of population, you know, affects 80% of what's going on. So it's still going to be a small few of individuals, and that's collectively across, the board. It's going to affect 80% of our population. And I'm wondering, is this like Black people, or so is this all of around the world, or is this in America?
You know what? I got to do some more research on that. I thought it did say America, but I don't see it on this thing, so it may be. Well, I didn't check
We
that
only
part.
13% of the population
I'm gonna
in
be
the United
honest.
States.
So let me do some research on that. That's a good point. I never thought about it like that. But
Because
so when
I
you
think
say
that we don't think about, we're only 13% of the population in the United States. We're just in dense communities, right? So Detroit, Atlanta, right? We just have these very dense populations, but we're still only 13 to 15% of the population, which is why when we go to events, you want to see that represented. So if I'm in an event and it's 100 people in there, I at least should be able to see 13 of me and not 3, right? But typically I see only 3 Black people, so.
Unfortunately, it's like that. So when you say 80-20, what do you mean by that?
The 80-20 rule?
No, you said something about 80% of us. And you said 20%. So
20% of what we do affects 80% of what we do. 20% of the population is going to affect 80% of the population. It's always the small things that we do that affect the bigger picture, right? It's going to be a small percentage of individuals that's going to have the influence over the bigger percent. And, and that's just by law, by nature, So it's not going to be like 100% of us working for 100% of even at work, it's a couple of people that, get us across the finish line.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody else is just kind of, and that's just the leaders and followers, right? We have those tend to be one leader to so many followers.
Yeah. So you saying basically if we can get about 20%, we can really affect everybody.
Yeah, if we can get 20% of our population, to really hone in and really get on the same page, we can affect the 100%, right? We can affect the other 80 and be okay with that 80 not doing nothing, and stop paying attention to the 8 that's not doing nothing and collaborate with the 2. So if it was 10 of us, I ain't complaining about the other 8 that ain't doing nothing. Me and you, we about to make this happen, and I think we pay attention to the 8 that's not doing anything and not pay attention to the 2 that was meant to move this 10 people, right? And I think we just pay attention to the 80 way too much. They're not supposed to meet. They're not supposed to be doing it.
They're supposed to be consumers.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be consumers. Wow.
Sell better products.
Yeah.
And they're going to consume more.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. When we have conversations like that, I'd be like, Black people should have the investing power of $2 trillion, because we have decisions to buy anything.
Yeah.
It don't mean that wealth don't go into the hands of Black people. Most people don't know where that wealth is going when they buying something.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So how would they even know what is the buying power is about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're accustomed to buying into people's brands, right? And me too, right? It's a lot of stuff, we wear the name brand or whatever the case is, and we fail to realize is that what we're doing, we're buying into those families, like Walmart. That's a name of a family.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? All these different brands that we buy into. So it's like we know. I guess it's the quality or whatever the case is. We build something of quality, people will come. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you're right in that situation. If it's 20% of us is doing something that's really productive, let's say we invest into a bank or whatever, like Greenwood, I reference them all the time. They got a big bank or whatever the case is, and it's Black owned. And let's say we all get to support this bank, and so now when we need a loan or whatever the case is, we go directly to that bank because of who we are and what we're doing. They're more likely to lend back to us. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, here we go. We get the jobs and all kind of stuff, and we kind of that ripple effect on out to the sea, right? So I think you're right when it comes to that. Yeah, man, that's deep. 80-20. I've heard that many times, but not in that reference before. So that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I think about also in Tulsa, Oklahoma. what is the name of that? When they burnt down the city. When a lot of us, what's the name of that city, Marquin? Where a lot of
Black
black
Wall
people had
Street. Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street. That had to be kind of what happened back then too, because all of them probably didn't come together. So let's build this particular city or whatever the case is, right? There probably was a certain amount of people, and they slowly start building out until they got this big old city. Even in those troubled times, they was able to accomplish it, right? They would have dreamed of having the opportunity that we have today. You know, we could touch our brothers and sisters across the world just on these different platforms that we're on. But man, that's a good one, man.
But just think about it, like when the Great Migration was that happened, where people started coming up north to work in the factories, right? But they were taking their money and they was sending it back home to mama to take care of the brothers and everything. But it was probably one or two of those individuals who really migrated, started working, and sending the money back, south after they bought their Cadillac,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That was a status symbol for sure. Get that Cadillac, boy. You doing something back then, boy. In the side note, I remember when I was younger. I probably should say this online, but I remember taking those emblems off people's cars and all kind of stuff. Just wearing them as chains and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. That's wild, man. Okay. All right. So, Ms. Nida, you have something you want to share with us?
Oh yeah, I want to.
Go ahead.
You put me on the spot.
I always do that. Y'all got to be ready. I'm throwing hardballs.
I wasn't even ready. You just threw me out there. But no, I just kind of wanted to talk about credit repair a little bit, and just not even so much credit repair, but just us as a collective, as a culture, focusing and putting some emphasis on our credit and how important that is. And the question I have, I'll probably get some backlash for it, but why is it that we as a culture, we just don't focus on our credit? Like, for instance, the Jordans, people will spend $300-$400. I don't even know how high it is now. It might be $500-$600. I don't even know, on some Jordans. But I've talked to people and I'm like, okay, my company, we do credit repair. We help you get into houses. We even build the houses for you. We get you to the point. We go through all the steps with you to get your finances together, to get you with a lender. I go through all of that with them. And I'm like, okay, we charge $29.95, which is pretty cheap, because back in the day when I was in college and I was trying to get my credit straight, it was not $29.95. And they didn't really do much. But they're like $29.95, but I'm like, you're buying a pair of Jordans. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get our hair done, and it costs a lot to get the hair done. I'm not even gonna go into how much it costs.
Right.
So you with me on that one?
I'm with you on that one.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So we will spend money on that, but we will not focus on our credit. And so part of our company is called Guaranty Homes Llc. So I wrote down a couple of things because I don't want to miss anything. But so we are a real estate investment company with a focus on credit repair, home ownership, investing, wholesale, and notary services. And so the purpose of our company is to educate people on the importance and the necessary steps that they need to take in order to become homeowners. And a lot of people don't know that it's the simplest steps. We have clients right now. We have about maybe 150 clients. And the first thing they do is they call us, them like, my credit bad and I need to get a house. So my first question, even in my messenger, I was doing this last night. What's your credit score? I don't know. So the first thing I'm like, that's easy. Like, that's cheap. That's free information, so I want to educate people and tell them, go on Credit Karma. It's free. Well, just put in your information, answer some security questions, and your credit score will pull up on Credit Karma for you for free. Or you can pull it, do an annualcreditreport.com, and you can get your credit report. But I think you have to pay for a credit score on that one. I have to check. I haven't checked in a while. But Credit Karma is free. Find out what your credit score is. And I tell them, because I'm just straight up with everybody, I'm like, I can't help you until I know your credit score. Find that out and then call me back, and then we can go from there. So I want people to understand, the first thing is knowing your credit score. Please just do that free thing. Go get your credit score, because until you know that, we can't go any further. You can't really do anything. You can't get credit cards. You can't get a house. You can't apply for loans. You can't do anything without knowing what your credit score is. Because if your credit score is, let's say, less than 580, there are a lot of things that we're going to have to do if you're trying to get a home. Most FHA and conventional loans, they want your score to be, the minimum is 620. They want it higher, but the minimum is 620. So it's important to know your score before you try to get a home, because getting a home, anybody can get a home. You really can. Now, your interest rate might be high, but you can definitely get a home. But it starts off with just getting your credit straight. And we have a lot of people too that most of their credit is, a lot of medical bills is on their credit. So that affects you a lot when those medical bills, I think we've all had medical bills at some point in time in our life. And so that's on your credit. I think they're trying to pass a law, hopefully soon, where a lot of, you can get a lot of the medical bills deleted, but that's something that we do. We do help get those medical bills deleted. We had a client recently that her score literally was 430. And we got her to 700. It took about 6 months because we had to do a lot of disputes. With Guaranty Homes, we do credit disputes with the creditors. We also do legal disputes. And then we also help them get trade lines. Another secret is that what people don't understand is getting a trade line will also help your credit. And the simplest trade line to get, the simplest and easiest one is, believe it or not, is Finger Hut. And everybody heard of Finger Hut back in the day? Because I used to shop at Finger Hut when I was in college. I used to get them sneakers that look like Nikes, but I don't know if they were really Nikes. But Finger Hut is, Finger Hut is a good one. Only reason why I tell people to get that is because they report to all credit bureaus every month. So if you get Finger Hut and you get, everybody usually gets approved, whether it's $250, whether it's $1,000, whether it's $10,000, but you will get approved 90% of the time. So by getting that account with Finger Hut, purchasing something small, paying it off when the bill comes, that's going to improve your credit score, and that's going to be reported to the credit bureaus. So that's the easiest and simplest line of credit that anybody can get, and they can do on their own. They don't have to pay my company for that. They don't have to pay me to do that. They can just do that on their own. Things like different little things like that is what helps people to get their credit going. And I just want to educate people and just say, just take the simple step to just work on your credit. It's so important, because without that, we can't do anything. I mean, they've made it, the world is like that. I'm just being honest. You just can't do much without having decent credit.
Wow. So let's ask you a few questions. So,
okay.
So how important is credit though? I guess a lot of us, we kind of know it's important a little bit, but tell us, how important is credit in 2022? How important is that?
It's extremely important, and I know you guys can relate to that. I mean, just to get a car, to get a house, to get a credit card, to get anything, they're going to pull your credit. I mean, nowadays they've been pulling your credit for jobs. Yeah. So they're going to pull your credit for anything. My sister is a therapist, and it's crazy because she just got hired at a company that actually pulled her credit. And she was like, why do my credit need to be pulled in order for me to counsel people? They didn't used to do that before. I don't know what happened, but nowadays it's like your credit is your Bible. It's your everything. So that's why I'm saying it's just important to take the little steps to just work on your credit little by little. And you can do it on your own. You don't have to pay me or pay a credit reporting company. You don't have to do any of that. You can do it on your own.
Absolutely. So you made a statement about medical bills. So I thought they had got rid of that already. So they're still working on that?
They're still working on it. Yeah, they're still working on it. Mm-hmm.
But
we're getting them off quicker than we used to, though.
Is that right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is that pretty easy to do?
Yeah, I mean, you can dispute. You can go on transunion.com or Experian or Equifax, and you can just hit dispute, and you can all the summary of all your everything in collections, addresses, everything is going to pull up on the credit report, and you can literally dispute everything on your own.
Wow. Now,
literally, it's that easy.
Now, the price you just quoted was unbelievable, right?
Yeah,
So I'm in Texas, Dallas, Texas, man. Everything is sky high. So you said a great price. That
Yeah.
price, that's wow. And
Yeah.
you guys go to work.
We do. I think the owner of the company, Duane Feely, his goal was not to rip people off because, people have a lot of bad history when it comes to credit repair companies. I hear it all the time. His goal is basically to help people, educate them, and get them in a home. I mean, there's been times we've even let people in the program because they wanted to get a home, and we didn't even charge them anything because he's fine. He's like, I don't need the money that bad. I want to help people. So that's why the price is so low. It's even been, sometimes we even do it for $14.95. We'll run specials. And you're in the program for as long as you want, whether it's just to clean your credit up or whether it's to get into home ownership. And we help you along the way, every step of the way, nationwide.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Is that a month-to-month?
Yeah, it's $29.95 a month. Yes, and the enrollment is $100. It's $29.95 a month. But literally, if you call us and you talk to us and we see that you're serious, we will waive the enrollment because we want to help you get in the program and we want to help you get your credit straight. And you can stay in the program as long as you want. We're not holding anybody hostage. It's up to you. If your score is where we got someone sent us a message today, and she was like, to her, she was so excited. To some other people, they may not care, but she was like, my score is at 600. I just checked it today. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. And, 600 is like fair credit, but you should have seen what her score was before her. So for her,
so mine would be the 850.
Damn, she was excited. We have a ways to go, but at least is getting there. She's making a step, and she had to sacrifice some other bills to make sure she pays that $29.95 a month. But that's okay because I can sacrifice getting my nails done for a month. I can sacrifice certain things. Well, I don't know about Sheila. I don't know about the nails now.
Because yours over there, they looking nice now. I like the colors on them and everything.
I want something else to sacrifice. But you guys know what I'm saying. You can sacrifice something to take care of your credit, just even for your future, for your kids. I educate my kids all the time on their credit. I have a 22-year-old and an 18-year-old. You buy something, you use your card. I help them get one little credit card, pay that off at the end of the month. I don't want to see you paying a little bit on it. I want it paid off because I want to educate them, because when I'm not here, I want you to be able to afford the things you want to afford. So I'm trying to help them now so that they don't deal with what I dealt with in college. In college, you get everybody trying to throw a credit card at you, like a $350 credit limit. And so you think you're doing something, but when you get the card and the fees, you only really got like $100 left to spend. You already in debt in college before you even know it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the deterrent, right? A lot of individuals, just say our age, the deterrent is they have went through that phase and have all this credit and have all this debt, and it just seems so overwhelming, right, to go in now and climb myself back out of this hole that I know I dug myself into, and this on there, and how did I get this, and and so it's just a tedious process of trying to get your credit in order. So you just like, hey, can you put this in your name? Credit.
Yeah.
Put in my mama's name.
Put it in. Oh no, but here's the thing. When I pulled my credit report, it was my mama had to put cable in my name.
Yeah. I've been through that.
How is this happening? But it's emotional. I think that's the thing that we don't realize when we start to go back and clean up the life that we had, that we once had, that we wasn't paying attention to. It's just emotional. We just have to be willing to go through that emotion. If it's shame, if it's whatever that comes up, when you get on the other side, you're going to be smiling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's time into
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, it sounds like working with your company is easy. I mean, sometimes you get in front of some people, now you spent this on this. Kind of make you feel bad, like, well, yeah, but I was 25, so even working with somebody who's willing to give you the permission to have made mistakes, but we getting it right now, so high five to that,
because we all have done it some time in our life, whether it's little, whether it's now, whatever. We've all made those mistakes and made credit decisions that wasn't the best and didn't take care of bill like here or there like we should have. But now it's time to fix it. Like, we can't worry about what we did. We need to worry about what we're about to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Marquin, you had a question?
I think it's just tied into like financial confidence. Like if a person don't have enough education to have the confidence to make the best moves, they ain't gonna have the confidence to even get their credit repaired. So you gotta build their confidence up first.
Yeah.
Then I always have the confidence to continue with the credit journey, because the credit journey do not stop in year one. Most people will repair their credit and think it stopped in year one, but the journey of credit repair is never ending. So
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
So
it's a never ending journey. So
Yeah.
get that in mind about credit repair.
Never ending, forever. I mean, you'll be surprised, Marquin. Like, they're like, I can get a house. I can get my credit score up. I can yeah. So like you said, it's educating them on the things that they're not even aware that they can do. You know, it just takes a little bit of time. And that's what we're here to do. You know, I want everybody to succeed. And sometimes it's all about educating people, because they don't even know that some of the things they can do on their own. They don't have to pay a credit repair company. They don't have to pay this person or that person. You can just do it on your own. Just simple education.
Yeah, I make them do it on their own. So if they want any credit advice from me, I make them repair it, and they got to take it serious, and they got to invest in a credit backbone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So check this out. So put your hands up if you guys know anybody who are lifetime renters, who've been renting since you was a kid.
Say that again.
Put your hands up if you know anybody who's been renting since you was a kid, renting a house. Think about it, man. All that money that they've been renting, paying the rental. Unfortunately, I'm a landlord, so I'm shooting myself in the foot, right? So, but just keep it real, right? Keep it real. So, all that money that's been going out the door that you could never get it back. Imagine if you're putting that money into your property. You know what I'm saying? You paying off your monthly payments. And let's say you run into a situation, you can refinance and take money out of that, invest it into a business or whatever the case is. That's how vital this thing is. Let's say you want to get that nice new car, right? Maybe a 2020 instead of 2022, because that's crazy to do that, I think, in my mind. So 2020, but it's a nice car, whatever the case is, and your credit is shot. So instead of paying maybe $400 a month, you paying $600 a month, because your credit is 480. The other person's credit is 640. They paying $380 a month. You paying $580, $600 a month for the same car. This is how serious this is. This is how serious it is, man. You got to make sure you get your credit together. And like you guys were talking about too, man, it's a lifetime, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lifetime. Yeah. Some of us have destroyed our credit since birth. Maybe our parents destroyed it. You know what I'm saying?
My parents will get you now.
Most people, well, I say like a lot of people in my generation, they've been conditioned to like scam their credit and like ruin their credit.
Yeah, it's
like it's a legit way to handle credit, and they don't even want to go the legit way. They just want to know the scams and the cheat codes to credit, when there's so many legit ways to build wealth off of credit.
Yeah, man.
So
yeah, man. See, that's that financial literacy.
It's the conditions.
That's true. That's true. But your credit, man, can put you in a position that sometimes your actual money can't. Right now, money is, you know what I'm saying? But that credit, it means a lot, bro. It means a lot. Like now I'm doing syndication deals and trying to do my first big syndication deal. I'm trying to get together, but the deals is like I don't have to put money into this deal. I'm just leveraging my credit.
Mm-hmm. It'll take you far. It will take you far. Yes,
so it's that important. So if it takes you a year, 2 years to get your credit together at $20-some, whatever she just said, or whatever the case is, it's worth doing it. It shouldn't take you that long to do it, but it's like, even if it take you that length of time to do it, the amount of money that you will save, it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Everybody got
Do it.
$30, but everybody do not have good credit. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. If you haven't written down this number and you know your credit is shot, you tripping. Let's keep it 100, right? You ain't trying to do nothing. I have never heard nobody say that price. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real with you. And she said they may even waive the down payment.
Yes.
Go online right now and pull up credit repair companies. You're talking about $500, $600, sometimes thousands of dollars for them to begin to start working on your credit.
And I fell for that. I fell for that when I got out of college. I spent, I want to say maybe $1,200 to $1,300 to, and I had all those college credit cards. So to try to get my credit cleaned up. And what I realized is I could have done that myself for free because they really didn't do much, so again, we're not trying to steal or rip nobody off. We're just trying to help. And it's going to take time, but it's an investment. Yes. It's something, you got to invest in yourself. And lenders, they look at your score to determine if they're going to extend credit to you. So if your score is not where it needs to be, 9 times out of 10, they're not, And for a lot of people who don't understand, okay, kind of what's a good score, poor score. So like a poor score is usually less than 580. The fair score is usually 580 to about 669. And then a good score is 670 to about 739. And a very good is, 740 and up. So that's kind of the range. It varies sometimes if you look online, but that's kind of the range that we work with. And again, there are lenders, 620 is fine for them. Your interest rate might be a little higher, but they're willing to work with you. And we work with a lot of lenders that that will help people with 620 and get you into a home, because we are definitely getting them into homes.
Yeah. And another thing she said, basically help you get your credit together to get you to your home that you want to live in. So, of course you can get it done at, a 580 when she was bringing it out, but get it up a little higher so you can get a better interest rate, so you can pay a lot less payments, and you continue to invest that extra money that you would have been paying on this house into some investment property or whatever you're going to do with it, and build your future up, man.
Yeah.
Make a decision now. Right now, you're paying tax right now if your credit's toe up.
Yeah.
A lot of tax. They hit you across the head, whether you know it or not.
And to speak to that about just helping other people build their credit. So when I went through foreclosure, and so my credit was shot, and but I had a friend of mine who was like, as I was repairing my credit, was slowly going up, and she was like, I'm just gonna put you on my card. Now, mind you, it was people in my family, and I just say when I think about the senior citizens and older people have really been very diligent about their maintaining their credit or like paying their bills on time. I'm like, give one of your grandkids a little bit of, just put them on a card. They don't need the card. You don't got to give them a physical card. Yeah, but just put their name on it. So it's hard work that you done work for by paying your bills every week and every month, and now you in the 800s. Just lend that gift to, a child or a grandkid who you see has the integrity and the responsibility, and just give them that lift. And I think that that's another way that we talk about building wealth and exchanging and helping one another. Sometimes it ain't always with your tangible money, right? Sometimes it's just you saying, okay, I'm gonna put you on my card, Sheila. Now, you can't get the physical card, but and I feel like that's something that definitely in our community, if they're 60 and older and they really done well, like just choose one of your grandkids, or somebody that you see doing well, and just get their name, put them on your card, and change their credit life forever, in the sense of really helping them to accelerate the process and, go from 5 to 7,
That's perfect. That's another way that we help people out. And that I've helped some of my family members that way. They do not have the physical card, but they are listed as an authorized user on my card. So again, I love it. It's just helping people. We have to help each other. If we don't do it, who's going to do it? It takes nothing to take the time and effort to educate and help each other out. Each one teach one. You got to help each other. So,
Yeah, so I ain't asked you to pay these bills now. Just take my name
Yeah.
and just make me an authorized user. Like, I know I got myself in this situation,
Yeah.
but this is the one thing you can do. And I mean, I know that when we start talking like that, it's like, well, I don't want you using my car. Look, it's not going to affect you. It's not going to hurt you in any way. If anything, your work now is the ripple effect. Like now, what you've done hard in your life can help me. So I was just so thankful, you know, that one of my good brown sugars, I call my friends my brown sugars, was like, oh yeah, I got you, you know. And it was a large line too, but it helped me out tremendously, you know. And if she, even now, if she go on and make a payment, you know, buy something, make a payment, you know, it affects my credit. So I'm forever grateful, you know, to her for doing that. But really looking at our friends and our families and how can we really help to improve their journey, you know. And it ain't always just nickels and dimes.
Yeah, that's deep. But the highlight of that whole thing, if y'all didn't catch it, is that if you put somebody on your trade line, they don't actually have to have the card.
I ain't giving you the
Right?
card.
So yeah, so they get your you know your time that you had that card or whatever the case is, and all of their credit is up to that point. Let me ask y'all a question.
I was kind of going to be a little messy here. I'm like, okay, now women, for your boyfriends, just think about that. Let's give the disclosure. You know, yes, women, you can do this for your boyfriends, but you know that, you know, if you want to help them, but don't be mad at them though. Like if y'all end up breaking up and now he going on and using that credit
with that good credit,
with that good credit. Part of your income.
It happens.
That was just the way that you invested into his life. Nah.
Yeah.
So I got a question. So, Nida, so when a person does that, how long do they have to be on that card or whatever? If they take them off, let's say within a year,
until the account close.
Until the account close?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can literally put somebody on the card and take them off, and they get their credit history, and it affects their credit. Wow, I didn't know that part. I thought you had to have it on there for a length of time as well. So that's huge.
No, if you put them on as an authorized user, then that credit will come over to their credit. You know, yeah.
Man. So these are gems that we need to know. We need to know. Like
also, if you're a renter, if you got an apartment, you also can put your rental history on there as well. So it's different platforms you can use to put your rental history.
Yeah, that's something new that they're doing now, right?
Kinda.
Yeah.
They trying to push. They're trying to push.
Okay. So
I just applaud you. You can go, Marquin. I'm sorry.
I know it's just a couple servers. You just pay like $10 a month, and they'll report it to every credit bureau.
Okay. So like this basic stuff that you're already paying for, like a cell phone bill, maybe rent or whatever the case is, you can use that as trade lines on your credit report for a fee every month.
Just credit history.
Credit history.
That track record. Just that track record.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Experian will track your you got to set it up, but they'll track your certain bills, like your gas bill or your light bill, and a few other bills, your internet bill. I can't remember some other bills.
If I say you have bad credit, it's your fault if you got bad credit, not my fault.
It's your fault. Yeah, because it will help increase your credit score too every month. As long as you pay it, and that bank account that's linked to it, they'll go ahead and track that and increase your credit score. It's called Experian Boost.
Okay. Is no credit considered good credit?
No. No. Because these creditors need to see that you can pay a bill, that you can buy something and you can pay the bills. So before they will even lend you anything, they need to see that you have a history. So no credit. I've talked to a lot of people like, I got good credit because I don't have nothing. Then why is the score where it is? No.
Most of these places understand the game too. It's like if none of your parents had good credit and they didn't put you on their credit, why would you have good credit?
Good credit.
Yeah. So I know we're talking about people who had damaged credit, or whatever. But if you have no credit, man, here's some tools, things you need to do, man, to get your credit rolling, get you some tenure behind yourself, man. because you will need it. You know what I'm saying? You will need it.
Yeah.
So, wow. Man, you knocked that out of the park, man. You knocked that out of the park. All right. Any questions? Any more questions out of that one, man?
No, I just want to applaud you for the work you're doing, because I know that is definitely changing people's lives at a deeper level, you know.
We are.
Yeah.
So
We're here to help. That's what we are here to do. Thank you so much. We are really here to help.
Yeah. All right, guys. So here we go.
What you got for us?
Let's do this.
Oh, Lord.
What we talking about? Guys? What we doing?
that's up from where?
I think that number is wrong.
Is it wrong? What is it now?
It's like it's close to 9%.
Is it 9% now?
It's 8.7.
Okay, so let's change that deal. Let me make sure it's right. This I'm glad you called me out on it. The one I pulled it up from.
My queen will tell you now.
He's a financial guy, so I should have called you anyway.
Straight.
What's the number again, bro?
It's 8.7%. It's close to 9%.
Up from where, Marquin?
Up from 4%.
What we doing with this?
About
So
to collapse.
inflation.
Don't get quiet now. What we doing with this here, man? We got to deal with this. Guys. We business owners, but we got to deal with it.
If inflation is up, investing need to be up. So if once you see everyone complaining about inflation going up, you want to add more money to all your investments. That's just the bottom line.
And what's the meaning behind that, Marquin?
Just the price of goods and services going up. Like you see the price of gas just double overnight. The price of any type of food, just a different price of different services just going up.
Mm-hmm. So you saying me as a consumer, when I see prices like the chicken is like $21 a pack now, and gas is like $5-6. What should I be doing? I should be going and investing more money where?
Into that type of company. So you got Hormel's, you got Tyson Food Company. So anytime inflation rise again, you profit off that company pricing the different products in the market at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you was investing, you will eat off inflation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then
it's an amazing thing.
I'm going to Tyson's Chicken and I'm going to buy more stocks because I know that they're making more money because these prices are higher. What as a consumer?
Right. Any consumer staple stock is great for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll instantly just make money off the demand of the public.
Mm-hmm.
The consumers got to keep eating the different products that they've been eating. So.
Yeah, but let's break that down into our day-to-day business, right? So if I'm a mobile notary as well, so which means I had to get out here and get in front of some people. I'm a mobile signing agent as well, so which means my gas cost went up this high. Right?
The cost of doing business just went up.
Yes. So now I have to raise what my fee is now. Right. So offside, because everybody's doing it. Like we go to Walmart, the chicken prices went up because it's costing them more money. You go to Kroger, whatever went up because and now the consumer has to suffer behind it. Right.
No company is giving you a price check as well. So no company is giving you no warnings. So a consumer shouldn't have a discretion. Like if you got to raise your prices, you got to raise your prices to stay in business.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's unfortunate because the person who's on minimum wage, they get hit. They already make a decision. Mm-hmm. They're gonna put gas in their car, or eat food, or what. That's a tough situation to be in. Tough situation to be in. But I don't even know what to say behind that, to be honest with you. But we all have a certain lifestyle we're trying to obtain, and we have family as well. So we have to adjust accordingly too. If everybody else is doing it and you're not, that means the money you was making, let's say we was making $20 per signing that you was doing. Now you're only making $15 now, right? And now the paper that went up, the ink that went up on your printer, everything that went up. So now you're making a lot less money, and you're probably putting in double the work.
I believe our problem is overconsumptions. We became too normal as being consumers. So when we gotta really put that back in the world, we putting back waste back in the world, nothing of value, you know.
But like the book that you brought up the other day about eating. I don't know why I can't remember this book.
Oh, I got the book with me now. It's called How to Eat to Live.
How to Eat to Live. If I'm not mistaken, they talking about eating one time a day, right?
Right. So basically, like eating one time a day, it saves you so much money over the year.
Money. I did it for a while, and you're right, man. It was like I'm like, where all this money come from, man? Like you get a raise or whatever the case is. So we have to adjust instead of we have been tricked a lot of times to make it think that we need to have three square meals a day. We really don't, right? That's just in this Western world. Right? You know, the people in the third world countries, they eating 3 square meals a day. So if we can adjust that, we can save a whole lot of money as far as our food bill is concerned. You know what I'm saying? Which in turn can be applied to something else that you're doing. So we got to look at everything. So you look at your life as a business and see where you can adjust accordingly. If not, you can run yourself into the ground. Be out of business, be destitute. You know what I'm saying? So we have to deal with inflation. I didn't realize it was that high, man.
How do y'all feel about buying the same products for a higher price? Do y'all feel like it's fair? Do y'all feel like how do you feel that your dollar is have less buying power over time? So like as you age, the value of a dollar is going down. How much were you spending it? Because everything else is going up.
Yeah.
Like I haven't never seen a situation where it was like the rent is going down.
No.
Rent's been going up every year.
Yes.
Car notes been going up every year. Just the price of doing business is just going up.
Yeah, it is.
So let me ask you a question though. So does inflation ever go down? Does it? So once it's up a certain height, does it go back down? Or this is what this is the standard now, and we're only going up?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, it's hard to answer that.
It's subjective. Like
so this is the game then. So you know, we either gotta adjust, or get left behind.
So you gotta know what to do when inflation is at 4%. You gotta know what to do when inflation is at 10%.
Yeah.
Well, I think that so for me, what it makes me think about is really designing the life that you want to live. Yeah. And when you design that life that you want to live, like what are you doing? To me, it's like you ever heard the story of the 3 little pigs?
Yep.
You know, so the first little pig came and he built his house of straw, right? And the big bad wolf came and blew that house down. And then the next little pig, he built his house of stick. And the big bad wolf came and blew his house down. And then there was this third little pig. It took longer, but he built his house of brick, right? The 2 little pigs who had the house of straw and the house of sticks, whose house did they run to? They ran to the third little pig who had bricks. And the wolf huffed and puffed and huffed and puffed, but he could not blow that house down. Now, we heard that story as a little kids, but how relevant is that to how we're creating our life by design today? Like, are you the first little pig who just throwing something up or doing this or just, you know, and when the big bad wolf comes, and remember, the big bad wolf is inflation, problems, anything, right? Come, are you just going to blow away?
Yeah.
Or are you like the second little pig that take a little bit more time, right? But it's still not solid. Or are you literally taking the time to create your life brick by brick, step by step? This is what I want to work. So when situations like this happen, like inflation or anything, like you can huff and puff on me, but I ain't going nowhere, right? And that's like living within my means, like, you know, it's just so many little details that come with when you start to design a life that you want to live and having the mindset, you know, I just feel grateful that I can pay for the gas, right? Because I made a decision a long time ago to not have a car note, you know? So now it's like, I got the car I want. I'm going to keep this car. I don't got a car note. So now the gas go up. I'm like, oh, okay, I can pay for this because I made a decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Not go with the grain and get a car that matched my income at the time, but just match my lifestyle. Okay, this is the kind of car I want to drive, and it's okay for me. And yeah, so I mean, I still put a lot of gas money in. It's like $100 the other day, but I don't have a car note, right? Because I made some decisions along the way. And so I just asked, the audience, what little pig are you? Wow. So when situations like this happen,
I'm still there.
Yeah, that's one of them. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I never seen nobody use a 3 little pill as an analogy, but you broke that down.
I'm putting that in my back pocket as we speak.
Oh wow.
Oh, I get that analogy a lot because it's just like we don't think about that, right? We don't really think about how we're building this life. Are you just building it because you're like, oh, I just need this right now? That's a straw. You just okay. And then when something happens, you just get blown away. And that's why something like talking about credit and mindset and these more deeper, emotional, intimate conversations, those are the bricks. Mm-hmm. And I ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Maintenance,
Yeah.
All right.
So before you jump on your thing, man, my mind's playing back way. So one quick question. So did this inflation thing happen to you, or did you see it coming as a business owner?
It happened for me.
Did you see it come? Did you see it coming, or did it just happen to you?
It's an expectation. So I know I'm fit to price my products and services in time up. So it was an expectation that I know was coming.
Yeah. As one thing about as a business owner, you got to have one eye on the future and one eye on the present. So if this just happened to you, you weren't thinking, you weren't looking further enough. You got to stop at sometimes in your business every month, every quarter, whatever the case is, and see what's coming and adjust accordingly. You have to.
I look at it like it allowed me to create wealth in the short term. Since wealth is created in the long term, inflation allowed me to create wealth in the short term.
Yeah. Wow.
You become more valuable and you become more valuable in times like this.
Yeah, man.
So you can really price yourself out the market and really create your own.
Like they doing with houses.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. Because it's somebody who the scarcity is just there, right? So it's like I'll price my house. Like, oh, you got
the stock market, the crypto market, with every financial market, they creating a wealth off scarcity. Mm-hmm. So if I can make you scared, I can make you wealthy at the end of the day. So it'll make you, what fear you can make you wealthy at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a lot of people living with no plan with their money. That's scary. Mm-hmm. Modern day Halloween every day. So they putting on a costume that's not getting them wealthy every day. So like with people who have a 9-to-5 job, let's say you making $20 an hour or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. Now with this inflation hit, you actually making less than what you was normally making, right? So you got a pay cut. You gotta think about it. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay cut. So now some jobs, depending on what kind of job you get, they kind of give you a raise at the end of the year to kind of adjust for inflation, right? You think your company's going to give you an 8.7% raise? Depends on your negotiation. They would, if you know how to negotiate.
And it depends on the company or the kind of work you're doing as well. If they can get somebody in there quickly. That's why it happened for you.
That's why I believe it happened for you, because like you gotta be aware of it.
Okay, so I get what you're saying now. I hear exactly what you're saying. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like inflation coming, and if your employer can't do nothing about inflation, you don't want to even be there. They can't properly pay you based off inflation. They're gonna really rob you of your time and your wealth. So
yeah, man. So you got it. So even if you had a company who won't really adjust for inflation, you got to make sure that your money is working for you. by using the Roth IRA, using the 401k or investing in some other things or whatever, so you can kind of offset that. If not just offset it, but actually get a further ahead, in this time. So you got to have your money working for you, or you're going to get left behind.
I do want to ask them to that, because we think about companies and who they have a fiduciary responsibility to, and that's their shareholders. So if you work at Walmart and they not willing to give you a raise, then you need to be buying their stock, because they do have a fiduciary responsibility to the people who, on their stocks, right? And so you may reap that now on the back end, 1 or 2 stocks. I'm just saying, like a micro stock or something like that. And I think that when we start really looking at the company's fiduciary, who they're responsible to, it's like they're responsible to their shareholders. And I think that's what you're saying, Marquin. Like,
right. So like, for example, if I have a Walmart client if I have a client that work at Walmart 9 to 5, I would tell them they would have to invest an hour of their time in Walmart stock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For as long as they with that company, So once they leave the company, they'll have a nest egg from that company.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
So you're saying, like, if they get paid $15 an hour, that they take $15 every day?
Every day.
And invest it into a stock.
That stock, yes.
That's deep.
So that's buying back some of your time from the same company that's giving you some of that time.
Yeah.
And see, you have to figure out, how do you do that, right? From a person who's working, maybe, working at a Walmart, may not be that savvy to be able to do that. So what do you do? So of course you may be already invested in the 401k, maybe 3 to 6%, depending on what they match. I always say I don't invest none more on the 401k than what they actually match me on to a certain extent. So what do you do? How do you invest into these Walmarts, like in stocks? Like, what's the next step when it comes to that? So a person can get from that position to that next stock.
I just think that's awesome, though, Marquin, because I think that is breaking it down to when making something that's not tangible, right? You telling me to buy a Walmart stock? No, I'm telling you to take an hour of your pay and commit it, to this stock. So if that's $15, $5, $10, whatever that is, just take that amount of money a day and commit it to this stock, and that stock is going to yield you back your time.
Right. You'll learn, like, with the stock market, you'll learn, like,
it's really good.
I teach the 30-year grind. All you got to do is invest $30 a day, and you can create generational wealth. $30 a day for 30 years. Everybody got $30 they can invest every day for 30 years. And you will have that capital to invest in businesses, real estate, whatever financial market, whatever financial product you want to invest into.
Mm-hmm.
So it just takes time and every day being consistent.
And maybe you don't have a job where you can actually invest that $30 a day. Maybe you have a side hustle where you can make $30 a day or $150 a week or whatever the case is, and use that money to invest in some things. So be creative. It can be done.
It's all about creativity.
Yes, it can be done. I mean, prime example, like I said, with this notary thing that I do, it really costs me a little bit of nothing to do it, man. But the amount of money you can make doing it is crazy. So,
all you people, like, I'm not a stock person. Like, for me, I was gonna I'm telling my brother, like, hey, like, you should get together, because I know it's people who want to invest in the stock market, but they don't have most people I talk to is like, well, you're gonna have to sit here and look at it yourself. And I'm like, I want to be invested, but I want you to, like, talk. And I just feel like it's a market for that. And it may be out there, but I'm saying amongst us, I think that if you could find a person that say, I'm gonna go buy these stocks, you give me this amount of money or whatever, and then I'm gonna communicate back with you, via this way or this way, then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm investing in you, because I definitely want to be a part of the stock market in an aggressive way, but I don't have the time to sit and look for the interest to do that. But I do have the interest in capitalizing off what the stock market has to offer. And I just feel like it's a niche for that. And I still haven't found a person like, oh, okay.
Well, so I would teach you how to build your own ETF, your own investment fund, your own portfolio stocks, where, like, I can figure out everywhere you're spending your money, and that's where we're going to invest your money for the next 3 years. once you see how much your account grow in 3 years, you're gonna be with me for the rest of your generation. Basically, you'll learn the habits you need to create stock market wealth.
So basically, if you like Briar's ice cream, right? That's what you should be investing in.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So if you like
Samsung, you should be invested in Samsung. You got
whatever
Apple.
You should go into your
Exactly.
if you go into your checking account, you can see everywhere where you spend money. That's where you need to invest money. You start there first and build your foundation. Everywhere you spending money. So like if you are a renter, you become a homeowner just to create that situation where you have equity. It's the same way in the stock market. Just you spend your money at the places, you invest your money at the places you're really spending your money at.
Yeah.
So Target is an amazing company. So many people shop at Target, but not so many people invest in Target. So like anytime I shop at Target, I'm making sure I'm leaving $20 in my investment account for Target. So you gotta trick your mind every time you spend money to invest money. I'm gonna ask y'all this question. What was the last 10 things y'all bought? Do y'all remember? So like 10, 9, 8. Once you get like to 7, you be like,
yeah.
What was the 6th thing I bought?
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy? Like you don't remember.
It wasn't really important, really.
It really wasn't.
It really wasn't important. You just blew the money.
So you want to have some more. You want to have importance for your money. You want to have a plan. You want to have a purpose for your money. Once you figure out your plan, your purpose, your money that's what you call having your money work for you.
Yeah.
So most people, they just dream. I wish I can get my money to work, but you really can do it today by investing in a company that you're spending your money.
Yeah. Facts. That's why they call it financial therapy. So as you guys see, Marquin is out of Dallas, right? You out of Dallas, right?
I'm out of Dallas.
You're out of Dallas.
Out of downtown Dallas.
Downtown Dallas. So you see, what he's talking about. You guys have questions. You see his number right here. Give him a call. Schedule your appointment with him. We walk you through some of these different things that he's doing or stuff that you should be doing. And
once you realize
how you do it,
how much money you done spent in the last 10 years, which could have been invested, you will sign up for therapy, because every time you spend money now, you really invest in it. So anytime I'm spending, any money I'm spending, I'm investing it.
Boom. All right. So I know you just went over some things. Do you still have another thing you want to kind of talk about? Or that kind of
financial confidence. How much financial confidence do you have? Do y'all believe in yourself financially?
What do you mean by that?
So, like, if you see a deal, are you going to invest? Yeah. If you see a great deal, will you pull the trigger to invest?
Yeah, I would.
So your financial confidence is through the roof.
Yeah, I'm actively looking for deals. I'm always looking for a deal. Even if I got to sell something.
But it's based off your confidence. It's based off your education.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking, how much confidence do you have personally?
Yeah, I hear you.
So I'm trying to get clarity on your question. So okay. Are you asking how confident am I to buy a service or product, or how confident am I to buy a service and product that I'm going to utilize outside of me, or buy something that's going to directly impact my business?
Like, how confident are you financially to invest in a stock, to buy a real estate property,
okay,
to pull that trigger on that business you want to establish? I believe your success is based off of that confidence.
That's true.
If you have, like, less confidence than another person who have more confidence when it comes down to your financial, you can really see that. You can really see that on your skin. So sometimes I just ask people like, how much financial confidence do they have in what they're building?
But isn't that tied to your education of what you're looking to invest in?
Right, your education, your research, your awareness, your experience.
So based on your experience, or you knowing exactly what you're investing in, I guess that would determine how confident you would be in that situation.
Your
right?
track record.
Yeah.
Let your
I'm not buying
investment
something I
account
don't
be
know nothing
your.
about. I'm not investing in something I don't know nothing about. I have to do the research first. Absolutely.
Correct.
Yeah. Got to do the research.
Yeah. But here's the thing: when opportunity meets me, I'm an investor. I'm an active investor. I'm pulling the trigger, right? As long as I know, okay, here's the worst case scenario, right? And if I'm okay with the worst case scenario, what's the wait?
Oh, I'm gonna ask y'all another question. Can y'all invest without confidence?
Yeah.
No, I can't. Go ahead. Break it down.
Yeah,
Break it down.
I think I've invested in the beginning of my journey as an entrepreneur. I definitely was more hopeful and courageous than confident.
Yeah.
Okay?
So
And
when you weigh, when you were less confident investing and when you was more confident investing, which had the better results?
I think that the courage when I did things courageously, I felt good. Me, like I did that. But now confidently, like if I just got my building remodeled or something like that, like I know that's a long-term investment. I'm confident that I'm gonna yield my return back. I think courage over time creates confidence. So everything I start off, sometimes I just gotta courageously do this thing enough times until I'm confident enough to, say yes over and over again. And that's how I was in business. I was courageous at first, and then now I'm confident to take all of this. I had to get a new HVAC system. It was like $6,500. I was confident that, okay, let me do that versus, that's a lot. Like, it's like a different type of feel for that.
So, like with what you saying, I got so much confidence in you.
Mm-hmm.
You breaking out, you giving me chills. I will pull the trigger and invest with you based off of what you're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some factors that's tied to that, though, right?
What's the factors that's
okay? Well, I know.
I'm just explaining the journey. Like everything I've done I'm not been confident about, right? But at the point I was courageous at some points, and I think that's what we determine. What's the difference between courageous and confident? Courage is when you just doing it, like you just all faith and hope. Like I'm just gonna do this, right? Yeah. And you do that enough, and now you feel good about it. Yeah. But then when you start to, and that's what I think the stock market has been for me, just the courage. Like I'm just gonna have the courage to put my money in here. And then the more I do that, or more that I have done that, now I'm confident because now I have conversations with people like, oh, invest in the products that you like, or it only going to take $30 a day, right? So now my confidence now to invest has built, and I'm different now because I'm confident. I have a little bit more information. I got a little bit more feedback that I didn't have, but I think everybody needs courage.
I say, and all you got to do is just apply an automatic process to that confidence. Yeah. Once you apply an automatic process, a day-to-day process for your confidence, for that financial confidence, you will become successful in time.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for your feedback about it, but it's been a journey, but it started with courage. And I think when we start talking about, credit repair, what you're talking about as far as like the stock market or generational wealth, like it's not a confident move. Like it's not this thing that you just have so much assurance about. It's like you got to be courageous. Like
you got to be fearless.
Yes, it's like I'm just gonna jump into this thing. And and sometimes it's a mess that you got to clean up, but sometimes it's like you happy that you made that mess because you learned so much in the process of cleaning it up, right? And so you do that enough, and then you get confident.
I believe you really become a warrior. You really become a warrior and really learn how to fight the best battle, and that's the financial battle.
Yeah, I'm definitely more confident now than I've ever been. I started out with, I'm still courageous. There's a lot of things I do. I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm just going to go ahead and jump and just do it and have hope and see what happens. Yeah. So I still have a lot of courage, and I'm going to always continue to have courage. And, but starting out, there was no confidence. It was all courage. So now as I'm building, as I'm getting older and I'm learning more, and as Jay says, it's all about the research. I have to research things before I do it in order for me to have the confidence.
Yeah, so that's my thing right there. It has to be researched thoroughly. Yeah. Because I mean, I've invested in things, man, back in the day where it sounded great. The cat who pitched it to me, it was rolling off his tongue. Any questions I asked, but I blindly, here we go. Let's get it going. Before you know it, it crashed. And I'm thinking, why did it crash? But first of all, I didn't know what I was invested in. I didn't know what the question was I should have been asking. Once I learned that, now I'm courageous. Let's go. I know what the deal looks like now. You know what I'm saying? When it's a deal, and I know when it don't. So I'm easy to pull the trigger in that situation. So one thing about it, man, money is money is funny sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure, I mean, you put all your time and effort in to accumulate some money to take care of your family. You got to kind of make sure that when you put in this money, because not 100% when you invest it, but you want to get as close as possible to knowing everything about this before you invest your money. Now, some things you can kind of throw on a whim, like let's say with this podcast or whatever the case is. Okay, we spend some money on the monitor, do this, whatever the case is, let's go. Worst thing that can happen, I can still use it for my company. This microphone I still can use for whatever the case is, right? It's like a dual benefit. But we talking about taking some hard-earned money, $20,000, $30,000 to invest in something that I don't know what is really the ins and outs about it. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Not at all. I got to know what it is. Now, what I was saying as far as you, Miss Sheila, the property that you're talking about, that's your actual office, right? Yes. So you know, off top, when you invest into this HVAC, that's going to bring you some air. That's going to bring you some heat or whatever the case immediately. And then you know it's going to bring you a value on your property later on. So you got the education already. You cool with investing that $6,000 in this property, you good to go. But let's say that was just a property that you just found. Nobody's in that property. And you got to think about it. Now, should I invest in this right here? You got to get some information. Is this a good neighborhood? Is this, you know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you do that before you invest in your money. So I agree with what you said as far as investing in what you're doing now. I would have did that too. That makes sense.
Lifestyle is the process. Her lifestyle she created is the process that you want to do the research from.
Yeah, I get you. Did that make sense though? Did that a little bit, or maybe it was a little off? But I was when you guys were talking, I'm like, okay, well, I done lost a lot of money. So, but at the same time, I'm still ready to pull the trigger if something comes up that I know about. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing.
Yeah, and then I think that the losing a lot of money because I mean, I've had business ventures or things I've done confidently, right, and still didn't yield maybe the manifested desire that I wanted, but it yielded me a lesson, you know, in how to move the next time or what to do the next time. And I think that's where that courage, then that's when the wobble between confidence and courage, because I got a bad deal this last time when I used my confidence, but now I'm going to courageously now invest in this, because I invest in other entrepreneurs, right? So I've invested in entrepreneurs who sold jewelry. I've invested in entrepreneurs who sold hair. I've invested in entrepreneurs who did nails. So, but I can't take my one experience with this entrepreneur and that I was very confident about, like, yep, this is a good thing. And then now I get this other entrepreneur. I'm like, I'm gonna do this courageously, right? Like I'm really taking courage to do this one, because I think that we can have all the information and how to cross the T and how to cross the I, but it's still the duality of life, you know. It's gonna get some good and it's gonna get some bad. Now I'm talking about don't make no foolish decisions. I mean, I think that's what I hear you saying. You know?
Yeah. But at a point though, you do got to jump.
Yeah.
Right. You got to jump, and that takes courage to do that. No matter what the situation is, you still got to jump when it's time to jump. Are you willing to jump? That's it.
It's all a risk.
I get it.
Get a bullet going.
And
You
even
gotta
with
stay
all the
consistent.
knowledge, don't mean it's 100% going to
That's
succeed.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? Any more questions? That's a good one there, man. You guys are knocking it out the park, though. I tell you. Let me see here. So let me plug Jason real quick, man. Where we at here? I done lost track, man. Listen to these good comments. I lost track. My bad, Jason. Let me see it. Hold on 1 second, guys. Nah, I don't even see his information up here no more. But yeah, so again, so he had to take a quick meeting, so he wasn't able to make it today, but he said he'd definitely be here next week. So he missed you guys, man. So, all right. Miss Sheila, you have something you want to bring to the table today? I know we didn't talk about it, but do you have anything you want to kind of touch on, or any great product that you're rolling out, or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm just gonna start out like I said, the Stop It Now workshop that'll be coming out June 1st, and it's just 3 things that you absolutely need to do to stop it now. And a big part of my mission for the next 52 weeks is to really start to get people to think about what you need to stop doing. I think that when we're in life, we accumulate so much, like, do this, do this, do this, do this, go there, go there, go there, go there. And we never think about what we need to cut off. What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to get rid of? And really taking the time to make the space to stop some behaviors, reel some things back, stop telling yourself that, big part of that. And so I got a workshop coming out. I think we valued it at a little over $350, but I'm doing it for like $47. So
Is it online?
Yep, it's going to be online. So I'll give you guys the information. But it's just 3 critical steps to stop it now so you can start living the life that you desire. And it has a lot to do with mindset. But it's really most of what the life that we're experiencing is what we're thinking about, right? It's really how you think about a thing, and that's biblical. As a man thinketh, so is he. So a lot of the stuff that we need to start to incorporate or stop doing is thinking like we thought at 30, 20, 10, or thinking how our parents thought. And so just really having an in-depth conversation with individuals about that. And so I'm excited because it's my first time really going online and being on a platform. I'm used to one-on-one settings with my whiteboard in the background.
Is it going to be on Zoom or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Let me know. Will I be able? Is that something that everybody can share, or is that something kind of for your group?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No,
yeah, let me know. We definitely share it on here, and I got a couple other channels as well. So let me know. Try to make that as big as possible.
Yeah. Then I have a research coming out. I'm a PhD candidate, so I just gonna start doing my research. So if you know any entrepreneurs that's looking to help me to be able to, with my research question, which is there an influence between procrastination and emotional intelligence? So we do an emotional intelligence inventory. We do a procrastination inventory and really see what the relationship is. I was watching Instagram, and how the lady was talking about, how we call people functional alcoholics. She was saying that in the African-American community, there was a study that just came out that talked about Black women have functional depression, right? That they're functioning at a level of depression, but it's functional for them and they don't even realize it. And I think that we have a functional level of procrastination, and there's so many things that we have just made functional that's not functional. And really trying to introduce emotional intelligence into our community, so we can not just be aware of the emotions that we feel, but the emotions of others, and really learn how to navigate life, and manage our emotions as we're doing that.
Great solution to 2 big problems for sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really needed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really needed.
So that was my 2 big things: candidates for my PhD and the workshop.
Okay, cool. So we definitely got to share that as many times as possible, man. People need to know what we got going on. Any questions there? And let's do one real quick here, and then we'll get to the hot topics, man. So here's a good question here. How did you guys start your business? Did you bootstrap? Did you get an investment? Investing loan, or how did that happen?
Which
I did
business?
my own capital.
From working for a company, or
Hold on, I'm gonna have to get off in a minute because my client is on. But
okay.
yeah, I started my own business. I use my own money. From the jump. I mean, I think I've always used my own money. I was like a serial investor though. Like all the money I would make, I'm like, I need to invest it back into my business. I need to invest it back into my business. And then like I would use I'm not gonna say use, but individuals that either I was dating at the time or like my kid's father is really good. So I had like this support for Sheila. Like we can go out to eat, we can go on dates and stuff. So any income that Sheila had going in, it was definitely just going right back into my vision for my life. And then I had a friend that say, is that healthy? Is it healthy for you not to take an income? Is it healthy for you to keep putting all your money back into your business? And then at that point, that's when I just started paying myself a salary. And I was like, I guess I don't have to put all of it back into the business. But my business is my investment. That's my long-term investment because it's not just about me. I want to build other coaches and, build communities around it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely bootstrap. Some people think that because they have a 9-to-5 job, they can't really afford to invest in different things, or they dream or whatever the case is. I would say, while you're working at that job, continue to put money to the side as much as possible. Figure out what you want to do your research while you're at that job, and slowly bring it along. Let's say you want to be a restaurant owner. Instead of saving up all that money, buying all that stuff, the stove and all that stuff and buildings, the whole nine, right? Or rent out a building. Why not get you a food truck? Or why not get you a barbecue thing or whatever? And you go to these places, and so invest in something small. Let that grow into your spot. Cause now you got clients know what the kind of food that you cook and they enjoy it or whatever. So now you got a built-in client base or whatever the case is. So start small and work your way up.
That's
bootstrap that bad boy. Say it again.
No, I was saying that's like for the scrub business. I'm starting with an online store, but of course, by the end of the year, the goal is to open a store front in the mall.
Yeah.
So, but you got to start off somewhere, kind of see how it's going to grow and how it's going to do before I just take my money and just invest in paying mall rent every month.
Exactly. And that hinders us a lot of time, and we think that we can't get to the next level because, the bank's not giving us a loan. But what can we do? Like a prime example, I've listened to Dame Dash. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but he always talk about flip, right? You get that mindset from the street. That's what people try to do is invest their money and double it up, right? Same thing in business. If you can do that, if you got something tangible, a person can buy, whatever the case is, go ahead and buy a little something, put some money into that bad boy, try to double up, and then you get to that point to where you can get into that, whatever you're trying to get into, do it then. Finance your own deal. That way you own 100% of your business. And it's nothing worse than getting a loan for a business and the business not doing well and you making those monthly payments back to the bank.
Still got to make
and investing all your time in this company and you got people working for you. That's a bad situation to be in when you can start small. What about you, Marquin? How did you do yours, brother?
It depends. It's different levels to it. Like, I learned how to raise private capital for like real estate deals, just any private business. So I really kind of raised capital basically to start my business.
Yeah, it's definitely. You talk about as far as the real estate deals is concerned. Yeah. Raising capital can actually get you in a situation to where you can get some equity out of the deal. That's definitely something you can do. So instead of trying to buy the whole property yourself, play that person who brings people together. And by doing that, you can actually carve out yourself a little niche in there. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of learned early how to use other people's money to fund the business I wanted to create. Using other people's equity, other people's services to really build my business.
Did you ever work a 9-to-5?
No.
You never did. Okay.
I always started a company, a business, a service, a product. So I always just been selling something, a product, a service, a business, a property.
So that's why so some of the questions that you have or comments that you have, I could tell it's that other side of your brain, right? Because
Right.
most people gonna bootstrap or whatever. You coming at it a different way. Like I've never had a job before, so I was forced to think, how can I get this done without bringing any revenue bringing any money to what I'm trying to get done. That's the strong side of the brain right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way you do it. Think outside the box, man. That's how you get things done. So salute.
I do
I
think
was able to
that's
create
great.
more just doing it that way instead of just self-funding my brands. I wanted them to fund my brands. I wanted to figure out who's funding the different brands that was in my environment, and I wanted them to invest in my brand as well. So
yeah,
it's possible for sure. Just don't weigh yourself out of your situation.
Yeah.
Create a better situation for yourself.
Yeah. I would have never got into real estate if I didn't think outside the box. Never would have did it. You know, so
Real estate is one of them vehicles where you want to utilize other people's money. You don't want to use your money to build wealth in real estate.
Yeah, it's ways to get it done. So I know Sheila got to go in a little bit here. So let me go ahead. How long you got, Miss Sheila?
I got about 3 minutes.
Okay, I definitely want your input on this one right here. Man, did I lose it again? Boy, this thing be moving fast on me. Okay, recession proof. Have you guys got recession proof yet for your business? Because they say we may be approaching something.
No.
I think the only way that I can become recession proof is really my intellectual property, you know, and moving towards how to literally contain or distribute my intellectual property and make it a value of someone else, you know.
Yeah.
And that's my plan, to become recession proof, you know, because you can't take what I know, you know.
That's true.
Really
Is it proof we're already living in a recession?
It's sounding, it's looking like it. It's getting there.
What if you can take what you know, put it in a book form, put on some CDs, put on something to where you can still sell it without physically having to be there?
I actually got a book coming out in August for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can help. That can help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that definitely can help. I have a couple. I have probably about, it's small. It's not really a book where you call it what do you call it, e-work book. I got probably about 8 of those maybe, but they selling on my website. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and I think that's the other part of it, right? Like, well, how do you market this? You know, how do you get this in front of? It's like, how do you sell? I think we try to sell 100 products to one person versus how do you sell one product to 100 people?
Yeah.
To 1,000 people,
Yeah.
to 10,000 people, like this one thing. And that's really where we have to then stop wearing so many hats. And like, what's that one thing I want to sell? And I want to sell it 1,000,000 times, even if I charge $1 for it.
Yeah.
Right. And how do I get this one thing in front of 1,000,000 people?
Yeah.
Who's willing to pay me $1, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think that is an internal journey, because you know, I want to be the therapist and the relationship coach and the entrepreneur and doing this and doing that, and sitting down and saying, okay, what is this one thing, Sheila, that you can do? And that is because I want to be recession proof. What is this one thing I want to do? So that's it.
But by allowing your money to work for you, that can help a lot too as well.
Yeah.
We talked about the life insurance. You know, you got a whole life insurance policy with cash value to it or whatever. You can get that money to work for you as well. So it's wise to think about stuff like that. So remember, we talked about a little earlier. You got to have one eye on the present and one eye on the future. If it comes about, what am I going to do? Because we're the last line of defense when it comes to our family. You know what I'm saying? It'd be wise to think like that. I mean, I said it's gonna happen. Probably my great probably know better than me because he's in that that financial market or whatever. But he's got to think about stuff like that.
You already got to be living like you already in a recession. Investing like
That's so true. That's so true.
It's true.
Boom.
Then you have proof that you are recession proof.
Do I have proof?
No, if you live in like it was a recession yesterday, you will have that proof that you are recession proof.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's working for you now.
So double down on everything that y'all are doing.
Yeah.
Save 3 times more, invest 10 times more.
Man. Yeah. So
on that one, I'm gonna have to go, you guys. I thank you.
Hey, we really appreciate it.
Great conversation.
Great information. I tell you that one, I'll never forget that. So, all right. Have a good one now. So, but yes, I mean that's pretty much was it right there, man. You guys did another great deal, man. Show or whatever.
This was a good night, good day.
I think we need a recession just to learn how to do business. So like failure during a recession as a business owner is very needed. Embrace just the downfalls, the risks that are being created.
Say that one more time. What did you say?
Which part?
Failure as a business is a recession.
Like just failure as a business owner, you need that experience.
Yeah.
Going through a recession as a business owner. You only learn how to get through it once you've been through it.
Yeah.
That's true.
A lot of what I've seen, man, when this recession hit the last time, you've seen a lot of these restaurants adapt accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Some
they
of
did.
Yeah, like a lot of times I wasn't really going through the drive-through, but you've seen that some of them have 2 or 3 drive-throughs, but people still able to get their food and go. You know what I'm saying? And they was working with a skeleton crew.
Yeah,
more people. You know what I'm saying? So, and what I've noticed too, a lot of them still doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They see the profit in it. So you, like you say, when you go through some different things, you kind of see where you're strong at, where you're weak at, and you try to make the strong part a little bit strong, weak part a little bit stronger, and you just adapt accordingly, man. So that's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. So my advice would be to figure out what you're doing and how you put it in some kind of other form, so where you can sell it online, to not just to the people around you, but people that's in different states, maybe even different countries. So when things hit or whatever, and you check your account in the morning and somebody pay for your book that's in India, you know what I'm saying? You be like, man, I've been looking at this little area here, you know what I'm saying? And the world is my oyster, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I have a mobile notary business too, but I also have online as well. So if a person's looking to get something notarized, even if they're out of the country, and I'm still in Texas or whatever the case is, I still can get it done.
Yeah.
So I have a software that I want to promote the software that I'm using, because they're not giving me no money, but I'm able to do that. So I can pull them up, actually stamp it online. They're going on about their life. So it's a great service to have too. So, all right.
Sounds
man.
good.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, man. You guys knocked it out the park again.
Thank
have
you.
a great rest of the evening.
Have a good one. All right.
Bye-bye.